Hi everyone! Welcome to our Requesting an Initial I-20 video. This video is for students who are interested in returning to the UW after an absence using Pathway B or requesting an Initial I-20. After watching this video, you'll be able to do the three following things. Understand the benefit eligibility of returning to the US with an Initial I-20. Identify how to submit a complete returning student I-20 request. And determine your next steps after you receive an Initial I-20. Let's begin by discussing how an Initial I-20 may impact your eligibility for some F1 benefits. When you receive an Initial I-20, it's important to note that your work authorization eligibility resets. You'll be required to enroll in 3 full-time quarters before you are eligible for work authorization benefits such as CPT or OPT. Please note that you will be eligible for a vacation quarter starting the first summer quarter after you return with an Initial I-20. This is the case even if your returning quarter is a winter or spring quarter. The only exception is if your quarter of return is summer quarter. In this case, you are required to enroll in summer, and you will not be eligible for vacation quarter until you complete 3 consecutive full-time quarters. Now we will go over how to request an Initial I-20. You can find the Returning Student I-20 request form under Requests and Documents in My ISSS. It will become available in the Request menu after your leave of absence request is processed. So if you haven't applied for a leave of absence yet, don't worry if you can't see it at this time. Please note that you will find 2 different types of Returning Student I-20 requests. If you are returning from a leave of absence, you'll want to submit the form labeled Continue Previous Degree Program. There are a few steps you may need to take before you can request your new Initial I-20. Once you determine your returning quarter, you must make sure that you are eligible to enroll. Undergraduate students who did not enroll for 2 consecutive academic quarters or more, excluding summer, must submit a returning student application to the UW Registrar's Office. Be sure to follow the Registrar's deadlines for this request. For students who must complete this step, it is mandatory for you to be approved to return before you request your I-20. You should submit your returning student I-20 request about 3 months before your intended return. ISS may not process I-20 requests that are submitted within 20 days of your intended returning quarter. When you submit your returning student I-20 request, you will have to enter the quarter you plan to return along with the quarter you plan to graduate. Your new I-20 start date will correspond with your intended returning quarter. Since your absence may impact your graduation date, you should discuss the timeline of the remainder of your program with an academic advisor to ensure your I-20 will be valid until you complete your degree. In order to complete your request form, you will need the following documents: a copy of your passport biographical page, proof of finances for 3 quarters or the remainder of your program, whichever is shorter, dependent passport biographical page if applicable, and proof of enrollment for your returning quarter. For undergraduate students who completed the Registrar's Returning Student application, we will also accept a copy of your approval email in place of proof of enrollment. Once your returning student I-20 request is approved, ISS will upload your new I-20 to your My ISSS portal, where you will be able to download and print it for travel. You may receive another invitation to My ISSS for your new profile, where you can find your new I-20 in the Requests and Documents tab. Once you print it, be sure to sign and date page 1 before you use it to re-enter the US. As a note, your new I-20 will not have a travel signature on page 2. You will receive one once you re-enter the US and complete your immigration check-in. As you plan ahead for re-entry, be sure to complete these following steps. Since you will be returning to the US with a new SEVIS record, you must pay the SEVIS fee again before re-entry. If your F1 visa and your passport is expired, you will need to apply for a new visa. If your current visa is still valid, you can use the same visa to re-enter even if the SEVIS ID on your visa doesn't match your new I-20. When choosing a return date, be sure to keep in mind that the earliest you can re enter the US is 30 days before the start of your returning quarter. Finally, once you return to the US with an initial I-20, you will be required to complete the F1 immigration check-in. This can be found under the Requests and Documents tab in My ISSS. You will receive additional instructions by email as it gets closer to your new program start date on your I-20. Thank you for watching our video on requesting an initial I-20. We look forward to welcoming you back to the UW.